Straight overall victories at the Salem 6 Hours of the Glen for Action Express has gapped Michael Valiente in a similar Corvette prototype, the Visit Florida car.
This charge under the hood, if it gets oil, its overall lead now is getting good.
Michael Valiente in the Visit Florida car. Behind him, GTLM machine for Rag at the Villa.
The Daytona prototype there. The Visit Florida number 90.
And the question is, physically, can you do it with two, Darren?
Hey guys, you're going to see several different strategies here. I'm watching the 90 car, the VisitFlorida.com car, put on brand new Continentals.
10 is clean, should be a routine stop with fuel and content.
Painful to run that slow. Here's a replay coming down into the heel of the boot. Both cars on fresh tires, and Brundle just too aggressive there.
The nose, and so probably has a little bit more understeer now than he had. He's still
aerodynamic.
Yeah, that will hurt him a little bit, maybe lose 50 pounds of downforce. The traffic, maybe got into some of those marbles we talked about. Edge of this racetrack is going to get slick.
It is. You get off line.
Troy, we saw the contact on TV, and we know, I mean, you've got 6 hours. Obviously, you don't want to have anything like this happen. I mean, that's a tough one for you guys. Is the car okay?
Yeah, it seems like the car's going to be all right. It's just getting old. It's been happening now for a few races, and nothing's being done about it. So hopefully they make the right decision here, and you know, we keep racing. But the car looks good. I'm happy to visit Florida. Weather's nice, and we're going to try to keep going to get to the end.
All right, man, that's a tough one. You gotta make sure you don't run.
And here's the Michael Valiente in the Visit Florida Corvette Daytona prototype. And Alex Brundle, who started on pole with that Oak Racing Nissan.
A bad mechanical. You saw the mechanic went right back inside the car. Watch this, 90.
Been in the action.
Oh boy, Michael Valiente in the 90 has to be asking himself, what did I do to anybody?
And he's the same kind of imbalance that Brian was talking about.
Yeah.
Look at all of that debris. And
Just live with that. It's going to be a difficult part to replace.
Realizes, I mean, he would have felt that, but I don't know if he knows that he's
Guy of the car because they had a blister.
Spoilers, check it out on July 6th, Sunday, 10 a.m. East 1. I'm Bob Varsha with Calvin Fish and Dorsey Schrader. Darren Law. Now, Michael Valiente and the number 90 Visit Florida Corvette prototype. Lock wheels with Alex's old man Mark.
Battles. I mean, it was the year of Ayrton Senna and Brundle. Martin certainly went out head-to-head. We were up there occasionally, but not our best of seasons, but still good memories.
I heard they were
to escape a little bit more. Here comes that wounded number 90.
Yeah, we'll see the back of that. It's got the side panel torn off.
That wasn't in the incident with the 42, but
no,
you look at the diffusion, the strakes underneath there, which really have a big effect on the downforce. Darren?
Guys, yeah, there is a lot of damage. It's not too bad. They've got all the strakes underneath there, but you can see them kind of wiggling. So I think as you run on and on throughout the race, these things may come loose. So they got to be really careful. The rest of the body looks good. It looks like it just kind of plowed into the back of it, but it's not too bad. Fresh Continentals on, and new fuel and driver change. Brian?
Noah Rojas climbing behind the wheel of the 01. Scott Pruitt is out, and team really looking to get back on track. Yes, they had the 2 victories. So
55 in the 911.
Here's Alex Brundle getting into the back of Michael Valiente, who got out of the car and said, just a simple mistake, nothing more than that.
That was cool. Good hard racing.
Yep.
So that's good. And we're both still running well.
what did you learn in that first?
Wait and see if Barbosa can catch Westy here.
Number 90 Visit Florida Corvette DP.
I tell you, Westy nearly beat me at golf the other day.
As a matter of fact, you did. And the fact that he nearly did was a story.
The fact that
Oh, look in pits. There it is.
we talked about with 3 hours, 15 minutes on the clock, they didn't make that extra pit stop like the Action Express boys, so they're going to lose the lead of this motor race as we get to the bonus point stage for the Patron Endurance Cup. So just one of those games you can play.
Just past top of the hour. Calvin Fish and Dorsey Schrader. I'm Bob Varsha. Darren Laws in the pit lane. This is the Salem 6 Hours of the Glen on Fox Sports 1, flag to flag and live. And Richard Westbrook is back on his way.
all routine, 4 tires, fuel.
Yep. Another double, so I think
Taking up where they left off at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in May. And then this, both drivers called it an accident as Alex Brundle got into the back of Michael Valiente.
on cold tires, then Michael in the wars a little bit further into the speed racetrack, the commitment level from the prototypes through the
Takes its toll on you too. He's frustrated.
I think there's a share of blame a little bit.
Brian?
I'm down here with Max right now, and he's okay. He's just really hot. And the thing that before we talk to him, I think it's a
Beautiful race cars, though.
Yeah, they are.
It's interesting. I mean, the technology is really so advanced and so fantastic.
Leader, Westy, Richard Westbrook, the Englishman. The driver change really puts a lot of pressure on these guys to keep it clean.
It seems like Michael got out about 10 minutes ago.
I know.
Westy did a great double there. You know, stint-wise.
I played golf with him the other day here at the Glen, and I was giving him grief. Remember at Mid-Ohio a couple of seasons ago, they had an exhaust problem, and I was getting fumes in the cockpit, and he bailed after 40 minutes, and I called him wussy that day. And his wife wasn't really in
Nissan Coke Racing chassis can run away. Doesn't look like it right now.
Wolves in there around the 2-second mark here for the last half a dozen laps. But Richard Westbrook and Michael Valiente, they drive the cars a little bit differently. Michael's the left. Richard likes to float more entry.
Car racing wouldn't exist without the support of private enthusiasts with resources.
This is going to be critical. Hour 38, you split that, so
The Visit Florida car is coming in. They're doing a full set of Continental tires, a full load of fuel, and Valiente is going to stay in the car for this stint. They're going to put Westbrook in at the end of the race and give him one more run. And I asked Troy Bliss, can you guys make it on one more stop? All he did was smile and cross his fingers and stare at me. So
Well, if they go on to win the race, everybody will be pulling bits off the back of their race cars. As you may know, back in June, winning the Salem 6 Hours of the Glen 3 consecutive years. There's the number 90, Michael Valiente, the Visit Florida.com.
really quick, and it's going to be fascinating to see how this fuel. They're really cutting it close. The Yak is on max attack, Dorsey.
Yeah, he is.
This was our 12th overall lead change among
90 car Valiente. And that extra
Track. You know,
stretch their fuel margin. They're going to have to perform a miracle to do it. Another 12 minutes if they're not going to need 2 more pit stops today. But again, a caution. We see that debris.
I'm not worried about that debris as far as the car goes, but when you look at these PC cars with those open, I would give him 2 more after this.
welcome back to Watkins Glen. The 90 car is in. Visit from Florida. These guys are on their final stop. Driver change. Westbrook is going to get in, and like you guys have been talking about, he's been sitting. He looks fresh. He's been hydrated. He's ready to go to run to the finish. Again, talking with Troy Bliss, they're still crossing their fingers. They went as far as they could on that last tank of fuel, and they're hoping they're within minutes of making it to the finish here. Let's hope they can get there.
I'll tell you what, Darren, I think they're going to do it. If they can get the same mileage on this final stint, it's going to be close. It's going to come down to that last lap.
Difference, what kind of challenges do you have?
That we've had to, you know,
I see it twitching at the back end, really pushing their limits here.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting whether he has to save a little bit to be sure that they don't need a splash. I think Brundle just on full at
The culprit,
yeah.
didn't it? Instead of just banging off the side and continuing, and we see it a lot.
Hey, Darren, what's the situation?
Off the 23 Porsche back
saw
there
that, yeah.
as it loaded going up the hill.
Get a little fender rub.
Lead of the race. That may seem obvious, but I mean,
Get one out of the way right now, so stand.
Yeah, I went over to the 90 car guys and said, just prepare for some good TV.
Look at the rubber, guys.
right? Believe it.
No.
You cannot believe what just happened.
Really got taken out, but it is a bad year for them. It's going to continue being a bad year. I mean, all they can do now is regroup and try to keep a positive attitude and try to build the Ford, the Ford
Apart with the incident between the PC cars of the.
It's actually a little bit quicker that way sometimes.
I don't think the 5's a factor anymore. It's
Brooke has the gap.
Without a mistake by Westbrook, he can't get it done. He's
Richard Westbrook and Michael Valiente for the Visit Florida team. There will be Dane Cameron in the BMW for Turner Motorsports.
well, my Hempster were giving us that opportunity.
Yeah.
That last lap, that was fantastic.
That was cool. What a great, fantastic result for the Visit Florida team, getting their first win of the year. But
Richard Westbrook celebrating right now with the team. Will get his helmet off and his gloves off, but handshakes all on the radio as Michael Valiente gives congratulations. And I talked to Michael when I came into victory lane here, and he goes, who would have thought that? That's just crazy. And Westbrook right now working to get his helmet off and his Hans device. It was a victory that was, I think, hard-earned would be an understatement, guys, and it came down right to that bitter end. And I'm sure on the restart there at the end, he was a little bit worried. See if we can get a word with him now that he's got his helmet off.
No, I mean, that was amazing. And, everyone part of this Visit Florida team is, this is for them.
Guys.
Congratulations indeed. Now here's a look at